Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Caravan, Mason.
You gonna leave this in?
Yeah.
Extended edition.
It's going to be, mate, it's going to drag this out, isn't it?
That's
People
right.
really getting their money's
But
worth.
there's going to be amazing animations happening behind it. Maybe one of those roller coaster things,
No,
like TikTokers don't
extended.
have. The TikTok fans, they don't have any attention span anymore. So there's going to be a roller coaster on the side.
It's extended.
Family Guy clip.
It's extended. They don't do that.
Okay, great.
This is it.
Nice.
Just dead air and a black screen.
Terrific.
Yeah. Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Caravan of Garbage, where we're doing movies, but not just any movies.
I love movies.
Yeah. Do you like the 4 that we're doing? We're on the second one.
I didn't like the first one. Am I going to like the second one? That's a what's that thing? Not a hypothetical.
You're being facetious?
I'm being facetious.
You didn't like Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time 2010?
I didn't hate it as much as you did. Again, I think there's a trend emerging here. I think you're hating these movies a lot. Is that because you hate cinema?
I do hate cinema, but also...
This was pure cinema on a level of Lawrence of Arabia.
No,
in
Mason.
the sense that everybody's white in it. Everybody.
That's the only part that I liked, Mason.
Oh, no.
Anyways, please leave a like because we're doing badly made movies that did badly at the box office, video game edition.
Oh, yeah, we could franchise this out.
Absolutely.
Get other people to do it is what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing, though. This was hoping to be a franchise because Disney, ever since Pirates, have been looking for the next Pirates of the
I
Caribbean.
knew it. It had that flavour
Yeah.
to it, didn't it? Toothless.
Yeah. And you know what? They still haven't found it.
They haven't. In many ways, they never had it. In a way, the first couple of those Pirates movies were lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
And they've never recaptured it.
In a way. Yeah. Well, this is a Jerry Bruckheimer production
is,
as
yeah,
well.
that's
So,
right.
this is literally what they were doing. They were like, let's do a big
That's
Pirates
right.
franchise. Let's get a swashbuckling dude running about.
What do you think the story is behind the Jerry Bruckheimer production logo? Because there's a road and then there's a tree getting struck by lightning.
Oh, wow.
Is that the lightning that hit the Pirates franchise?
Well,
maybe?
they didn't catch it, did they?
No, they didn't. It
hit
burned
that tree.
Burn that tree down. It's probably going to fall on the road, cause an accident.
This is fun. So Jerry Bruckheimer, upon purchasing the film rights to the Prince of Persia games, had...
So is it the one where it's got that assassin and he leaps off a rooftop and he all dramatically and he falls into a haystack and they're like, no, that's Assassin's Creed. And he's like, can we do some Assassin's Creed stuff anyway? Can we just chuck that in? How much can we do without being sued?
Well, it's all Ubisoft, so all of it,
All of
really.
it then, perfect.
We'll get to Assassin's Creed, Mason.
Yeah, I bet we will.
Yeah. So upon purchasing the rights to the Prince of Persia games, he had hoped that the film could be a brother franchise of sorts to the Pirates of the Caribbean and had anticipated that the series would go on for 7 films. Now, I feel like 7 films. Now, if this had have kept going and Pirates was still going, these would have merged by now, right?
Oh my God, that's
and
right.
Tron.
Yeah.
Just mash them all
A
in.
bunch of wet guys and a bunch of sweaty guys finally teaming up.
Yeah.
Crossover we always wanted, yeah.
You know what the problem with this movie is? A lot of things. I think also, I used to say that this is the best video game movie. And maybe in 2010 it was, but there were Resident Evils, and I think one of the Tomb Raiders was good, and the first Street Fighter's pretty fun, and Mortal Kombat, and Max Payne's great. So
You could read a book.
you could read a book.
You could read a Worlds of Power junior novelization
Yeah.
of a Blaster Master or Castlevania.
Oh my
Get some culture
God.
into you idiots.
There's some
There was a
peop-
Metal Gear one. Look them up. They'll all be $1 on eBay.
Nobody wants those, Mason.
No.
Play a video game.
Yeah,
Don't read a book.
Yeah, that's a really good point,
What's
actually.
wrong with you? We only read them because we couldn't play a video game in reading time at school.
Oh, that is so true.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So one of the problems with this is Daston, the main character.
Prince Daston? Hello, I'm Prince Daston. I'm the Prince
Yeah.
of Persia.
So apparently Jake Gyllenhaal, his name's pronounced Gyllenhaal or something like that. Look, I'm going to say it however I say it. It's not right. However you're doing it is wrong. There's one way to do it. Here's how it is. Nobody does it like that. Anyways, he said he found it hard to nail down the English accent.
Because it's important when you're doing a movie set in the some mythical Arabian lands. You got to nail that English accent because that's how they sounded.
It's not this kind of movie, Mason, to quote Harrison Ford. You know, it's fine. They don't have to be all English. Also, he's wrong.
None of them should be English.
No, that's
None
what I'm saying.
of them.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
But he's also wrong for the role because I think they were going for I guess sort of a Captain Jack Sparrow, but more of a Rick O'Connell, a Star-Lord, whatever Chris Pine's character was named in Dungeons & Dragons. That's what they were going for here. And Jake Gyllenhaal hadn't worked out at this point in his life that he just works better as a creep.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Don't you think?
He's got that creepy intensity,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he got it pretty early in Donnie Darko, and he tried to pivot away from it.
That's right.
But he's creeped his way back into the creep
He's like,
zone.
I could get abs, I could get pecs. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We want a sweaty, sunken chest off you, Gyllenhaal. That's what we want.
Well, he's still getting abs though, isn't he?
Yeah, this did give me wannabe the Mummy vibes.
Yeah.
With Gyllenhaal in the Brendan Fraser role, we got Gemma Arterton, who's given me that Rachel Weisz vibe.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were hoping for that chemistry. They were really leaning heavily in this movie into that, like, well, they're enemies, but are they gonna turn into lovers kind of vibe? And I'm like, it doesn't work.
It seems like they really hate each other. Like, they're always putting themselves and each other into like dangerous situations. He's like, I'm going to sell you into a sex trade or whatever. He's like, just kidding. It's an ostrich race, whatever. Like,
Sure.
I don't get the sense that, like, she tries to like full on stab him at one point.
But then at one point, she's just like, we're in danger. Let's run away together. Like,
Yep.
there's no consistency
Exactly.
between these characters. I mean, maybe the heat's driven them crazy.
Maybe the heat has driven them crazy. So here's the thing, right? I'm a big fan of these particular games, the Sands of Time trilogy. Well, there's more than that, but let's just say the trilogy, right?
You fan of the original?
Yeah.
The blipping and the blopping and the rotoscope
I've
little guy?
blipped and blopped, Mason.
Sure.
It's not as good as the Sands of Time. Well,
No.
it's better than this movie, but the game I'm saying, Mason. But there's a bunch of shit in this where I don't understand why they're complicating any of it. Because they're making it so that he's a prince from the street and he's got brothers and they're all sort of vying to be the king or whatever, but not really. So he's kind of like, oh, he's got a heart of gold because he's basically fucking Aladdin or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Where in the game, he just kind of sucks.
Okay.
And he does a horrible thing. He unleashes the Sands of Time and there's a bunch of sand zombies and everybody gets turned into a sand zombie. Except him and the lady, and they do a fun kind of parkouring romantic adventure like around the tower.
Yeah.
And it's great, and it's like self-contained. For a video game, you believe, the romantic tension and relationship for a game from, 2003.
Oh, that sounds really appealing. They should make a movie out of that, I reckon. But Sand Zombies does sound an awful lot like the mummies from The Mummy, so maybe they had to...
They didn't get any sand zombies in this. Got some sort of pseudo undead, not really guys, just a guy carrying some snakes.
We got some Assassin's Creed guys who've got all sorts of Assassin's Creed
my
weapons. They can
God.
fling darts, and we get another angry knife to add to our collection. Did you notice the angry knife?
I did.
There's two knives. I mean, there's the main knife in the movie.
Yeah, the sand knife.
Yawn. We'll get to that in a second, but there is another, just a grumpy-headed knife, and I love it. I wonder if you can buy that one.
Do you reckon you could?
No.
No,
Absolutely
probably
not.
Yeah. And I think like often I'll say, they change things from video games and different adaptations, and who cares, right? But that's only true if you make it like as good or better.
Sure, absolutely.
Like The Last of Us. This is not. This is actually offensive to me, Mason.
Yeah, I can
I'm
tell.
offended.
You're boiling over, like you were in the Saharan desert.
Exactly. And look, a lot of it really is just running about under different cloaks and hoods. You put a bit of cloth over your mouth and you tumble through a marketplace. Or you enter a busy square and you're looking around. Fucking boring. What a boring movie.
It could work though, couldn't it? I mean,
could work.
as you mentioned, that's the entire premise of Aladdin, plus the genie stuff.
Plus the genie
But
stuff.
most of it is running around
Yeah.
in a marketplace with a little scarf over your face or whatever.
Exactly. And as mentioned, I need to come back to this. The romance. I've just written sucks. Like there's the back and forth is dreadful. The video game again, it's so much more dynamic and fun, and there's a bit of push and pull and who's going to betray whatever. And there's that is I guess here, but it's more like you said confusing. Anyway, Assassin's Cape, Poison Cape.
Oh, there is a poison's God, I am sick of all these movies where the inciting incident is a king is killed by putting on a poison cape that takes a really long time to affect him.
It's got a
and
countdown.
then melts him instantly.
Yeah, bad.
It's great. It must be difficult if you live in the Prince of Persia universe to know ultimately who is going to betray you, because everybody is sporting that sinister eye makeup.
Boy, do they,
Everybody
yeah.
looks like an evil vizier of some sort.
Everyone-
You're like, is it going to be Ben Kingsley? Is it going to be my brother who played Koba in Planet of the
Oh,
Apes
yeah.
or whatever?
Toby
Maybe he's
Kebbell.
not my brother, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
or is it my
not.
other brother?
Yeah.
Is he? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's in Dracula Untold. We don't know.
No.
He could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, why a poison cape? And they keep bringing it up, like through the thing. I didn't give him the poison cape. I swear to God, I didn't know the cape was poison. Could have said acid cape. Like that would
Okay.
more than poison. It's more of an acid cape anyway, isn't it?
I guess. But why not like a
Poison
poisoned
chalice.
wine? Poison, exactly.
Yep.
What
not?
if he just never puts on the poisoned cape? What if he's like, that fine beating work, I don't want to wreck that by taking it out on a walk. Put it directly in the case. You sure you don't want to wear the regular cape? Sure you don't want to wear that regular cape? No, it's a wonderful trophy. Put it on the wall.
I don't know, maybe even poisoned Persian cocaine, you know?
Absolutely.
Which might just be sand in this universe. I don't know. What would happen if you did a line of time sand? What do you reckon that would do to you?
I think that'd spice up your weekend, let me tell you. I think you'd be coming back to work in your office on Monday and you'd be like, woof. Let me tell you, I got into some ostrich races. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, let's talk ostrich races because Alfred Molina is in this. And he's a libertarian with a dream to live tax-free and run a small ostrich racing business / scam.
Yeah.
You're loving all the work that he's doing here?
Yes.
It's just like everybody in this movie, a classically trained English actor, tanned up to the nines and some eyeliner.
Yep, that's right.
I mean, he is like, I think he's like one of his parents is Spanish, so it's
fine.
They're making it work.
His last name ends in a vowel. That's fine. That's practically Arabian. That's fine. I think he's the best part of the movie, and the second best part of the movie is an action sequence towards the end that doesn't feature any of the main characters. It's just Alfred Molina's like lieutenant versus the assassin, where they're fighting with daggers and knives and throwing stuff, and there's snakes and they're jumping between. Yeah, you know that bit's great, and then the leads are nowhere to be found. Yeah. I imagine because they went, "Hey Ben Kingsley, do you want to be in an action sequence where you jump around inside a?" No, okay, anywhere? We haven't said where yet.
Well, in the game. Ben Kingsley is like the bad guy, but he's a vizier, okay, or that character. Yeah. And he makes the prince unlock the sands of time, etc., or whatever.
Sure.
And then the prince at the end, he reverses time, and it's before the time has been released, the time sands.
This is the plot of the movie, basically.
Yeah, and then you just like go into a bedroom and you just beat the shit out of him, and he's got a staff. But you've spent the whole game finessing combat against
leveling up.
Sand zombies.
You've got a flaming scimitar, and you just kick a dude's bedroom door open and you behead him with it.
Not quite, but pretty much, yeah. So it's pretty fun.
Okay.
Again, I will highly recommend the games.
Okay, all right. But the plot of this one is the good guys, quote unquote good guys, they invade a nearby
Arabian Night.
Invade a nearby enemy city to ostensibly to take it over and to find these weapons that they're smuggling, what have you. But actually,
it's a metaphor. I just got it. It's an Iraq War metaphor.
That's right.
I just got it.
Yeah.
That bumps this movie down actually because it's really poorly handled.
You're already at zero.
Yeah,
Where are you going to go?
It's not that bad.
Didn't know we could do negative numbers on this thing. I've been doing it for years.
It's not that bad.
But anyway, actually,
but it's $200 million. It should be better.
Secretly, he wants the magical dagger filled with magic sand, and if you push a button on the top of it, it reverses time for a bit. And it's initially in the hands of Gemma Arterton. Yeah. And then it gets taken away. The city gets invaded, and she gives it away to one of her lieutenants, and he goes away. And I spent once it was revealed what the power of the dagger was, I spent most of the movie going, at some point we're going to reveal why she didn't just reverse time initially and just get out of the situation. And it never happens.
Yeah. She probably didn't think of it.
Oh, yeah, because she was too busy being rude.
Yeah, she was being
too
quite
busy
rude.
being rude and sassy.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's probably a metaphor for a different war that we've forgotten about.
Yeah,
potentially. God. There's a moment in this where it just becomes Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, where they're just chased by ominous guys on horseback with like black cloaks and whatever.
Yeah, but that's a classic action sequence if done well, and it wasn't.
The snakes bit, where they're throwing snakes at each other. That's a good bit. And then we haven't even mentioned that the entire basis of this movie seems to be built around parkour. Like all the behind the scenes stuff, it's just them going, we got some parkour guys. We got Jake Gyllenhaal to do parkour.
Was this prime time for parkour, or had parkour's time passed?
It was 4 years after Casino Royale.
Right, the peak of parkour on the big screen. Sure.
But again, as we talked about, and I think when we talked about that movie, it's never been done better in a movie. And I know there's like specific parkour movies where there's better technical.
Oh, absolutely,
parkour,
sure.
But I don't care.
That doesn't have Daniel Craig leaping gorilla style through a wall, so I'm not interested.
Exactly. But some of the special effects in this, there's a moment where he's sliding down a bunch of collapsing sand stuff.
Yeah.
And it looks like, speaking of James Bond, it looks like the windsurfing in Die Another Day. Yeah. It's like that.
The thought that I had at that moment was, I feel like if you're going to make a movie set in a really sandy environment, maybe work really hard on your sand VFX.
Spider-Man
Because otherwise
3.
it's going to look bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. And it does. But in the end, Ben Kingsley, we find out. It was Ben Kingsley, by the way, everyone.
That's right. It was Ben
I hope you're
Kingsley.
keeping up.
Because he wants to get the knife and he wants to stab the knife in the. They call it a sand glass, the entire movie. And I know technically you can call it that, but everybody in the universe calls it an hourglass. But I guess they thought that the viewers would confuse and be like, is there going to be another hour of this?
I think
is
it's
there going
just-
to be another hour? No,
think-
it's just called that. It's just what we call it.
I think it was just called like the Sands of Time, and there's like a big thing in the game from memory. I didn't even notice they did that. Anyway, don't release the sand, but also you can do it.
What he's going to do is he's going to stab the hourglass with the knife, and then he's going to reverse time to when he and his brother were kids, and he saved his brother, but then he's going to not save his brother, so then his brother won't become the king, and then he can become the king.
Yeah.
Seems complicated.
It is complicated, yeah.
Yeah.
But he could have done it, I reckon.
You reckon?
But, yeah, maybe. But
I think that's going too far back. Butterfly effect rules. I think that's going way too far back.
yeah, you think he could have done it earlier?
I reckon you go back to just before the poison cape and you push him down some stairs instead.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Because
that
there's no
works.
way to prove that you pushed him down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, because there's no, I'm going to say there's no time machine. There is a time machine.
There's the exact time machine in this movie, yeah.
But there's no video camera.
That's exactly right. And in this movie, he's undone because
Hopefully no one's chiseling out the scene as you're doing it.
That's right,
Fred
exactly.
Flintstone style.
That's right. Because in the movie, he's undone, of course, because he has burns on his hands because he handled the poisoned cape.
You idiots.
Before he gave the poisoned cape to his brother. So in this, you just kick somebody down the stairs.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you'll have their bum print on your shoe.
Maybe.
But
They're
you
not-
just brush it in the sand a bit.
They're not going to look.
They're not going to look.
They're not going to look at your shoe.
No.
God damn. Anyway, there's too much sand released though. Jake Gyllenhaal gets to go back in time, and that's okay.
And then he goes back in time to when he first finds the knife, and then
Yeah.
he goes to Ben Kingsley and he's like, "You're going to betray us." And Ben Kingsley's like,
Ah ha ha! He's had too much
Yeah.
sun.
And then Gyllenhaal goes, "No, you are though." And then Ben Kingsley's like, "Have it to you."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, the game's up.
Yep.
I'm going to do some stabbing."
We're sword fighting, I guess,
Yeah, I
on
guess.
these stairs.
Yeah.
No proof. Also, he hadn't done the murder at that point, I believe.
Oh my God, is this pre-crime?
It's pre-crime.
Is this movie both a video game adaptation and a prequel to Minority Report?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. That end bit where they're on the steps and having that little exchange.
Gyllenhaal and Gemma Arterton.
Yeah, and Ben Kingsley.
Oh, okay, right.
It feels like the end of like a Sherlock Holmes school play
Mm.
where they're just like, I know you did it. I wouldn't. Well, I've got the evidence and what? Yuck. Mason.
Yes.
Got a new section of the
Oh,
show.
new section.
Yep.
I don't know if I like that.
Now you're gonna like this
Because we've had a very successful run of not doing anything new. That's how a franchise works. Don't try anything new.
Okay. How about this? We try it.
Yeah.
And if everybody hates it, which they will, we'll never talk about it again.
Okay, great.
All right. It's called Thoughts and Prizes. And the funny thing about this is you can actually win prizes in this section of the video. That's for you, Mason, and the people watching at home.
Really? What kind of prizes?
I'll let you know at the end if you win.
If the listeners win, do I not get the prizes?
No, you all would get a prize,
I love
technically.
this.
Depends if you win.
What's the prize?
We'll talk about it at the end.
This is a trick.
It's not a trick.
This is a trick. You're sneaky like a grand vizier of some sort.
Anyway, thoughts and prizes. So here's my thoughts. And the
Okay.
prizes will be at the end.
All right. Is this a pun? What is he doing? Is this a play on words?
No.
I'm trying to, thoughts and prizes. I don't know. It's See, he's up to something, isn't he, listeners and viewers? We'll get him after this.
Don't do it. I don't like how the outfit that he wears at the start, it's more akin to the game Warrior Within, which is the sequel to Sands of Time. He never gets in the blue outfit at the start and
I see.
then goes shirtless. Because in the game, he's got a funny little blue outfit, and as you climb the tower or whatever, as you do the game, the
Okay.
outfit strips away, and at the end, you're just shirtless with a big pair of puffy pants.
Interesting.
I don't
okay.
like that. They went straight to the sequel, which was more goth, which sure maybe worked for the game, I guess, but it doesn't work here. You don't open with that. You build
Okay.
to it.
All right. Great thought. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Appreciate that.
I mentioned this, but where are the
I mean,
sand?
nerd alert, obviously.
No. I mentioned this, but where are the sand zombies? It's a good point. I mean, why wouldn't you even put some sand zombies in this?
Because
you
it's
know?
expensive. Can you just have guys in robes?
I guess you could, yeah. Remember the bit where Jake Gyllenhaal, he lands in the room and there's beautiful ladies and they're like,
Ooh,
ooh.
where did this swarthy young man
And he
come
takes
from?
the time to be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm being sexy here.
That's
But he's
right.
not, he's a creep.
Yeah, he is. That's true.
Yeah.
Imagine if Nightcrawler had come through in the room. Hello, I'm here to take pictures of an accident. Get out of here. They knew in
They knew.
that was embedded in his soul.
Yep. Last thought for thoughts and prizes is, it's funny when Toby Kebbell dies and his nose is squished down in his helmet and he looks silly.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal and they're finally having their little man-to-man talk, and they
Yeah.
finally get
We're brothers or whatever.
We get some closure.
I didn't give him the poison cape.
Well, I guess because we're in this room, I believe you now. and then Toby Kebbell just hears a bit of noise, and he's like, "Well, better put my entire body out of the door." Oh, it's arrows. It's so many arrows. Wow.
Yeah.
If only there were a device that could reverse time just slightly.
Yeah.
But there isn't. Luckily, this is a toothless, bloodless Disney-style movie, so by the end, I'll be fine.
Yeah, he will be, yeah.
And by the end of this movie, we'll have a device that, I guess, will enable us to reverse any bad things that ever happen.
That's right.
Forever for the remainder of this franchise.
If they did more movies, there's consequences for unlocking the sands of time. The Dahaka will come after you.
Oh, my God.
I don't want to get into it. Anyway.
James, are you being chased by them in real life?
I can't tell you that.
Okay.
It's not important what I'm up to outside of these videos. That's actually my own personal and private time.
James, did you unleash some ungodly demon spirits because you forgot to pick your kid up from school or something, and your wife got mad at you, and so you reversed time?
No.
Okay.
I would never do that.
All right.
I would never do that, and I would never be constantly searching for the water sword because it's the only thing that can stop the Dahaka. That's not what I'm doing. I'm actually working on videos a lot. That's what I'm doing, Mason. Anyways, that was the end of Thoughts and Prizes, and unfortunately, nobody has won any prizes. Now it's time for Prince of Trivia.
Don't even know what that was.
The sands of trivia.
James, you got to give out a prize the first time, because otherwise nobody's going to think they're going to get a prize. Everybody's going to stop watching because they're like, well, there's not going to be any prizes.
Nobody contributed the thing that was supposed to be for the prize. Nobody did it, so we're not doing it this week. Maybe it'll come back. We'll see.
All right.
This film was meant to be the first in a franchise, as mentioned, akin to Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean. However, the film underperformed, despite selling well on DVD and Blu-ray. Ubisoft also shifted their attention to Assassin's Creed, the video game, and dissipating interest in the franchise led to any sequel plans being abandoned. The final nail in the coffin was when Jake Gyllenhaal expressed regret in appearing in the film.
Wow, burning his bridges.
Yep.
In his little blue britches.
That would have got you a prize.
Oh, man, too late. Got in after the buzzer.
I think I learned a lot from that movie in that I spend a lot of time trying to be very thoughtful about the roles that I pick and why I'm picking them. And you're bound to slip up and be like, that wasn't right for me, or that didn't fit perfectly. And it certainly didn't, Mason. A Lego tie-in toy line was released, and it was the first Lego toy based on a video game. What a waste.
Whoa. But now that's all they do.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I just wrote Assassin's Creed camera move. It was probably an earlier. Ben Lawrence probably put it in, but I got to mention it.
Here it is again.
Yeah, it's happening here, isn't it? And I was looking at the IMDb trivia as I do.
Okay.
Like I watch a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. I read some fake facts on IMDb, and I actually found a fake fact.
Do you know it's for sure it's fake?
Yep, I confirmed it. The fact was Charlie Clausen was considered for the role of Prince Dastan.
We know Charlie
We
Clausen.
know Charlie Clausen, so I sent him a text. I said, hey man, true or false? Were you considered for the role of the Prince of Persia? And he wrote, and I've had permission to read this out. Oh wow, that's a blast from the past. Not to my knowledge was I ever considered. I think what happened was around 2006, someone used my face in some fan art and shared it on a forum, and the rumor started from there. I had a manager at the time who asked me to take it down because it wasn't a good look. She thought I was campaigning to make it happen and was worried I might piss off the producers. I was also accused of whitewashing, even though I literally had nothing to do with it.
So there we have it, folks. Conclusive proof, Charlie Clausen, bigot and racist.
And you can check out his podcast that he does with Will Anderson and others over at TOEFOP. Incredible work.
They'll say anything.
They will say anything. On a budget of $200 million, it made $336 million, which meant it definitely lost money, but it is the third biggest opening for a video game adaptation behind Lara Croft and Pokemon the first movie, or it was. It's not now.
Super Mario Brothers now.
Super Mario Brothers and probably...
Sonic, some of the
Sonics. Probably.
Yeah. There's probably a Fortnite
Detective
movie.
Pikachu.
Yeah, sure.
Assassin's Creed. No, not that one.
No.
Not that one. You know what might have had a bigger opening? Actually, I'm pretty sure that it did. The movie that we're going to be talking about next week. Here's a hint.
What is it?
It's Warcraft.
Oh,
That's probably going to be the best ones of these ones we're watching.
maybe.
Maybe.
I only saw that once.
Yeah. But think about what you've already watched and the
Ugh.
and the 10 minutes
Ugh.
and the 10 minutes you sat through of Assassin's Creed before you turned it off.
That is bad.
Yeah.
All right.
See how we go, I guess.
Well, I'm excited.
You can actually see that early if you head over to bigsandwich.co also. Did you know that?
I did know that, yes.
Yeah, it's not the only thing there.
Do I get a prize, though?
No.
Oh, what?
But the prize is the content if you pay $9.
Oh, that's
it helps
true.
support us keep these ad free, whatever. We don't run ads. I mean, there's YouTube ads. I have to say that because someone will be like, "Oh, I saw an ad on this video." You're very clever. You figured it out. You figured us out. All right. We're sorry, but look.
James is being genuine there, by the way. He sounds sarcastic, but he's like, well done. You figured it out.
Yeah, you would want a prize. We also do movie commentaries. We do video game let's plays. We do bonus podcasts. We also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. That comes out every Monday. It's got its own YouTube channel. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple, etc. Check it out if you so please.
We have a great time over there.
We do, don't we? All right, everybody. No, you say that. What do I say?
Oh, why don't you say
See you
it?
later.
I think you're so good.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty-
you could say see you later.
See you later.
Grab that jammy, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later. Time stuff.
Time stuff.
Time stuff. We can end with some. See you next time.
Stuff.
To see you next time stuff.